Listen, we got your favorite. God, and I don't know why I keep watching them. Maybe it's because I love them. We got your favorite podcast here.
That does not create any time in my life. And I wasted time doing that, being a bad boy chaser. Chasing these bad boys, chasing these niggas that look like they had it, whatever.
Right.
I wasted time. I'm not doing that shit no more. The past 2 years, I wasn't doing that shit.
But you say you wasted time chasing a bad boy.
Yeah.
Word.
So
Man.
quality man like me, a quality man like me who ain't do shit to a woman. Now I gotta suffer the ramifications for your bad
because
word.
a
why
dirt
do
bag.
you
So
require
now I can't get full
chasing
because
as a
you got
man?
hurt.
Why do you require chasing from a woman as a man? Like, why do you require that?
Nobody said chase.
Because first of all, because I'm a feminist and I believe in equal opportunity. So as a woman, you have the equal right to chase the man that you want, just like you chase the career.
Do you
that
own a
you
gun?
want. Huh?
Do you own a gun?
No.
We live in New York.
We
man.
live in New York. That's
Like,
different.
Yeah,
I would if I
the gun laws ain't the
I
same.
would if I
man.
could, like, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Okay.
So-
have you ever gotten into like a physical altercation with somebody?
Yeah.
Then you're not a feminist.
What?
Innately, feminists are nonviolent. That's one.
I don't think she knows what a feminist is. Listen, Daily Wrap Up Crew podcast from New York City. That's the guys right there. And they always bring on just a couple of women to get their opinions on different topics. They always bring up the same exact topics. But what makes us different is they're in Atlanta this time. This woman is trying to prove that he's not a feminist here.
The main pillars of feminism. You cannot like feminism is an ideology.
So the minute
it's a philosophy. It's
Word.
a
So the minute you defend yourself, you're not feminist?
ideology. Huh?
So the minute you defend yourself, you're not feminist?
So if you what?
The minute
you defend yourself, you're not feminist, is what you're saying?
If it's for self-defense, that's one thing. But
Right,
if
you didn't ask him that.
If you're resorting to violence as conflict resolution in any way, shape, or form,
You asked
Right,
if
but
somebody-
you didn't ask him that.
Yeah,
You asked if you got into a physical altercation.
Let alone you ain't telling all these women that be
That's
slapping
fair.
niggas,
That's
they
fair.
not feminists.
because
women be staying putting their hands on a man.
But don't
I'm dead ass.
like the thing is with feminism, it's a whole philosophy, it's a whole ideology.
Y'all
It's
keep
like
moving
you
a
have
goal.
to
Y'all
be-
keep moving a
No,
goalpost.
you
It was
have
for
to
equal
study
rights.
it.
It was
You
for
have
equal
to
rights and
study it.
equality, right?
Feminism has always been a philosophy since the conceptualization of first era feminism, second wave, and third wave feminism. It's
And that
always
fourth
been
wave is
a
just I want to be a
philosophy.
man. I want to be superior. Now it now becomes I want to be superior to them. I don't want to be equal to them no more.
No.
Now I want to be
That
superior.
is
to
true.
We
them.
want to
Can
be
I say something? Can I say
recognized. We want to be
Y'all all
recognized
y'all
for
got
our
more. Y'all got more
achievements.
rights than men.
Can I say something?
They're both, hey, and this is why I hate watching this thing. Both of them are stupid. Both of them are stupid. Women have more rights than men. What are the rights that women have that men don't have? Can I understand that? Like, what are the written down rights or laws? Whatever the case would be. What am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something. Like, for real. And I know in the comments they always say, "Oh, Omar's a simp." Please tell me what I'm missing right there. And then also to her, did she study gender studies or something like that? Like, where is she coming up with all this stuff like this from? Yo, these are the conversations I truly want black people to take the opportunity to take their platforms to a different level and talk about things that actually matter. This podcast, they always come out with interesting clips, but man, they never talk about something that actually matters and affects them on a day-to-day basis in a progressive way.
In Atlanta, I will say a lot more women have businesses. We have multiple degrees. We have things going for ourselves.
We?
And I will say one thing that I do run into when dating men. Some are more intimidated by that. Now, it also plays into me being submissive as well, and him sometimes feeling like he might need to push more of an authority because he may feel like he's, intimidated by me. Like, sometimes these men try and relay and get that authority across because of what I do. They know that I don't need them, but I do want you. Like, yo, if I want you for real, like, I'm a lover girl. I ain't gonna lie. I be writing letters. I'm on a typewriter. I don't care.
As a woman with power, do you think it's harder for you to be submissive at times?
Sometimes I'm not finna sit here and lie and say no. Yeah. at times
So
it
you
definitely
understand why you feel that way?
is.
But the problem with what he said, and I guess I understand what they're going. And again, this is where they call Omar a feminist or whatever the case may be. Just because you're a man doesn't inherently mean that a woman should be submissive to you. If you're not bringing anything to the table, and this conversation is full of nuance, if you're not bringing anything to the table and your value is tied in like monetary ways, and you can't provide, money necessarily to a woman exclusively to where it's like shifting the power dynamic in the relationship, why would I be submissive to you? If she's making $75K and you come in making $75K, there's not like really like a power dynamic in the relationship. Y'all both make the same. Hell, even if it's a situation where you make 15, 20K more than her, She makes enough to support herself. So at the end of the day, you got to be bringing something else to the table besides that $20K difference in order for her to be submissive to you. Why would I submit to you if you're not somebody I should be submitting to? And like she just said, a lot of women in Atlanta, they have businesses, they have degrees, they got some motion going on behind themselves. So as a man, what are you bringing to the table in order to get these women to submit?
No, I definitely do. I'm fair. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like the man that I'm trying to be serious with, trying to be involved with, we're equally the trophy. Yeah. But it's like, what are you doing and what am I doing so that we can collectively,
I think that's a fair point, and I'm all for women, being in positions of power. But since this is new for women, in the last 15 years or so, women are gaining the money and the power. Now y'all need to understand that the relationship dynamics are different now. So you can't compare the relationship to your father, your great grand.
We definitely understand that. Yeah. I think men have a harder time accepting that than women do.
Yeah, but if
men
you're
have
saying
not evolved with women, y'all have not y'all. I'm sorry, that's.
Yeah.
Men have not evolved with the modern woman.
But I don't think modern women has evolved because y'all still want the traditional man, knowing that y'all have
because
with
the
no
traditional
value.
man, the traditional man was the man that anything he said went in the house, regardless if it was good for the family or if it wasn't. That's what we're talking about when we talk about traditional men or traditional whatever. Now, the provider aspect of being a traditional man, to some extent, yes, is being upheld a lot more than the other aspects of being a man, correct? But that's what comes with evolution. We kept some of the traits we had back in the days, not all of them. We got rid of the ones that no longer
the ones that men
us.
like. That's the ones I got rid of.
So would you say you're a modern woman?
I would say I'm a modern woman.
But when we asked you earlier, what's an example of a good man? You went straight to your father, which is a traditional man, not?
No, my dad definitely fulfills some traditional roles, but I also would say that he's very modern in that he gives the women in his life, my mom, his second wife, me and my sister, enough agency over our lives that I know what a man that would give me that same agency is supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What I'll say about this whole traditional thing, I kind of don't like it. I watched my father. When people ask me who's my first love, I say my father. I was a daddy's girl. I still am. I kind of think it's unhealthy for that traditional shit, because it takes a mental toll on black men as well. I watch my father, and she might hate me saying this. I know it's hard to be married to my mom. Shit, come on,
Why you say that?
It's hard, and vice versa.
Why you say that?
My mom is she's a very high maintenance woman. And just pleasing her is hard as hell.
Listen, what she's touching on and what she's about to continue to touch on, but I just wanted to pause it right here, is an exact reason why I say we have got to get out of the idea of what gender roles are. We have got to get out of the idea of traditional values. And it's hard because, like they pointed out earlier, these things are new. So it's going to take time for people to progress past these things and move forward into a different direction. But what's ultimately happening, and like she's about to point out, is that it's not only a mental toll on the female, it's a mental toll on the male as well in the relationship. See, when you're in the relationship and you have to maintain this lifestyle, you get so wrapped up in money being the only thing that brings you value as a man that when things start to ebb and flow or change, or when you can't please your partner or please your children, even when you're dishing out money, you feel like, damn, well, I'm worthless. Or maybe I need to dive myself more into work and miss out on more opportunities because I know this is what a man is supposed to be. And then on the flip side of that, there are people who don't like that. There are women and there are children and stuff like that that do not like that when your life as a man is consumed with chasing the money aspect of it. My grandfather, he worked. Wife didn't work. He was the sole breadwinner of the house. When it came to anything emotional in the house, he was non-existent. Woke up in the morning, went to work every single morning, came home every single night. And he used to hang his hat on that all day, every day. But if you ask his wife and his kids, they would say, well, yeah, you came home every single day. You sat in your chair. Mommy, my grandmother, would bring your slippers over, bring your drink over, bring your sandwich over, or whatever the case may be. And nobody could talk to you and nobody could bother you because you were so tired from work. When did you ever spend time with the kids? And he was a good dad in some aspects. Don't get me wrong. They took vacations and They spent weekends and stuff like that together. But when it came to anything household related, Dad, I want to play sports. Dad, can you talk about my grades and stuff with me? He was just non-existent in the household. But that's because he felt like, hey, the woman is supposed to do it. Those traditional values are not conducive to a more emotional environment. And I promise you, as soon as women get past the idea of men's value being tied up in money, and men especially getting past the idea of their value being tied up with money, and men getting past the idea of women being the nurturer figure in the relationship, and same thing with women, as soon as people get past that, figure out how to be good people within a relationship as opposed to these gender roles and dynamics within a relationship, that I can guarantee you that they will grow and they will progress further than any other generation ever. But as long as we hang our hat on things that no longer like hold so much weight into a relationship, you'll be caught up. These people are from Atlanta. These women are from Atlanta. And they're speaking to my experience now. What do I look like coming into a relationship thinking that, hey, my value is in my dollar when my partner makes money? She makes good money. She makes great enough money to support herself. I have to come with something different, or I would be on this rat race to make so much more money to where I would then wipe out her money, which would have to be $300,000. Like, it would have to be an exorbitant amount of money for me to just say like, yo, I'm going to be emotionally disconnected, but it's going to be fine because I'm taking care of everything financially. No.
I'm going to keep it real. It's really hard. And just seeing my dad, and I really see my dad for who he is, and he always wants to provide for us, do better for us and everything. But I know he feels like, bro, like this shit will never be enough.
Right.
And to be a black man dealing with that shit's stressful. Like, I feel like we should bust everything down the middle sometimes. Like, it's needed.
And that's
agree.
what I was just
I
finna
agree.
say. I feel like sometimes men just don't feel like women like ourselves, like you said, out here getting it, hustling or whatever. They don't understand that we should become a team
Yeah.
and bring this
Yeah,
together. It
absolutely.
don't never be
Wait,
like a
women-
work with me.
men
It
don't
be like
understand that?
here, men here.
Okay.
I have to keep emphasizing
The
that,
women
y'all.
here too. The women here too. Let me,
But
y'all.
wait, one question. Do you think that most women are like y'all though in Atlanta?
No.
No,
Not
Okay
at all.
then.
No.
So it's like,
but and that's why I can sit here and really speak on what I've seen and what I've like. I'm gonna just give you an example. I recently reconnected with somebody, right? And they was telling me, and you know, he a cool dude. We're like, that's my homeboy. We just talk about relationships, stuff like that, what's going on in our lives. And he had a girl he was dealing with for a year, and he moved her into his apartment, everything. Shorty was leeching, like really, like she was 24 years old, able-bodied, like able-bodied, could do whatever. She cute girl, whatever she wanted to, she go out. He told her, go to Bigo, like the live stream app. And just, if you're going to sit in the house all day, just live stream, make some money, do something. I know it's irritating, like what you said as a man, like for your father, to go to work every day, your back hurting, and you come home and you see the person that's supposed to be your partner sitting on the couch not doing shit.
Now, my mom, she worked.
Oh,
That's
okay.
bad.
So, okay, let's take it back then.
Works. Yeah,
Right?
she works. She works.
So I
Come home to a
understand
meal.
as a man, and you know, like inflation's going crazy, all this stuff. And women, we do have the capability of working. There are women out there like that. Stay away from them. For real. Let them bitches crash out. For real. Like, let them crash out.
that's a fact.
Like,
Hey, she is speaking 100% facts. I'm always telling men, yo, you've got to raise your standards. I understand that in the dynamic of relationships, women hold control of the power being the vagina and sex in the relationship and all that. But if you raise your standards, you will not fall for, nor will you continue to have these dumb conversations about relationships that don't necessarily even matter. I ain't gonna lie, once I found out I could raise my standards as a man and continue to raise my standards as I progressed, I was so much happier. I found that I don't even run into the riffraff anymore. I don't run into them. When I was younger, I didn't have a car, right? But as soon as I got a car and I was dating a young woman who didn't have a car, my standard became, yo, you gotta have a car. We gotta, empower you to get you a car. She got a car, she got a better job, she was in school, all that stuff. And then me and that young lady fell out. But going into my next relationship, I wasn't going to go back to taking women who didn't have a car, who didn't have a job, who didn't have direction in life. You think I was going to go back to that? That doesn't make any sense. And then I was no longer in those conversations. So if you raise your standards, leave those bum women behind. This man moved his whole friend, girlfriend, whoever into his apartment. First of all, I'm going to let y'all know she didn't have nothing going on before they started getting serious. Why he thought moving her in would make her do something different, that's on him. But as a man, you can raise your standards. And I know, and what's crazy is you always give general advice on the internet and it's always met with buts. But I'm here to tell you, just say no. Raise your standards. There are women out there for you like that. I promise you. Don't settle.
That's all you can really do. Because it does disgust me. It does really disgust me when I see like women, and me and my homegirls talk about it, because me and my homegirls, we get money. That's all we do. We talk to each other, connect one another, whatever. If I got some people that need to book a section, I'm going to send her over there, and she going to send her people to me, and that's how we make money. But regardless, when we see a girl that's kind of like not really, fucking, like she not really like doing nothing, she not really on no shit, she not really like going out there, and she's relying on men. Like all she do is chase men, chasing sections, chasing bottles, chasing cars, all that shit. We stay away. They burnt the fuck out.
Right.
At the end of the day, the conversation should be raise your standards, get rid of the ideas of gender roles, stop trying to cosplay as what you think a man is, especially in today's society, and become a good person. Become a good person. And as you continue to grow and build as a good person, raise your dating standards to a good person. And the next level of a good person, next level, and it should increase with you. I'm me personally, just where I am now. I'm not dating no woman without a job, a car, her own place, degrees, all this other stuff, because I raised my standards. And outside of those like visible things, those tangible things, she's got to be a good communicator. She's got to have a good attitude. She's got to be connected to her family. But that's just because I've raised my standards. Y'all know. Go ahead, kill me in the comments, because I could be wrong. Yo, Dennis, this is a crazy commercial.